One of the many issues addressed by Hilton Head mayoral candidate Jim Collett during the last campaign season was the lack of consistent quality cell phone coverage on Hilton Head Island. Jim formed a task force to look at that issue and work towards improving cell phone service on Hilton Head Island. He joins me to talk about the group's efforts and its partnership with the company to get a handle on definitive data to address that problem. Thanks for joining me, Jim. Great to see you.
It's great to be back.
First, if you could remind people why this issue of having good cell phone service, reliable cell phone service all around Hilton Head Island, why it's so important.
Well, it hits us in the pocketbook. Our economy is based on mainly on tourists. And if tourists come here and they can't get cell phone service, they can't get their smartphone to work, their iPad doesn't work, they're likely, maybe they won't come back next year. And that's 2 million visitors that support the economy of the island. The second thing is the people that move here for second careers. You know, they can live anywhere in the world. We're hoping they move here because it's a beautiful place, but they won't move here unless they can get good cell phone coverage to stay in contact with all the business interests they have.
Well, I know you're working with a company by the name of RootMetrics. It was in the Island Packet, the story today on Monday. Explain why you've gone into this partnership with RootMetrics and what they'd like people to do.
Well, it's hard to get a really good coverage map of the island. You know, the carriers have them, but they won't share them, or everything's great. The people that build the towers have them, but they don't want to share them. They don't want to embarrass the carriers that they sell to. So getting a good coverage map was going to be hard. And we were going to hire a truck to drive around, but we found what we think is a much better solution. We found a company out in Washington State called RootMetrics, and what they do is that you can dial into their website, and they will test the coverage you have. They'll record where you are, and they'll record how good the service is, and they'll use that feedback to build a coverage map that we think will be very accurate because it will be built on actual conditions of people trying to use their cell phone. And go ahead.
So I'm sorry, so they actually will dial into the company to the number that's provided?
Actually onto their website, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, that's no problem.
Yeah, they go onto their website. It's the RootMetrics website, and we can tell you how to get there. Okay,
and now the whole issue of downloading an application either on your iPhone or other phone, is that how you go about doing it, or is that a different way of going about to do it?
You can download the application. That's what I did. I think you can actually just dial in, just go onto their site without putting an application on that. But the best way is to put it. It's a very small application on your phone, and then what happens is you go onto their website, and somehow they've got the ability to assess what phone you have, how good the service is, how good it is for voice quality, how good it is for data quality. And like I said, then they use that to build a map of the whole island, which we think will be very accurate.
And this is, again, for iPhones or Android phones. Also, in the Island Packet Monday's edition, they actually had barcodes in the paper. So people who've got the barcode scanning application just scan those barcodes and they'll be all set up, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, it's really fascinating how that works.
Now, the company itself does not charge consumers if they want a real telling of how the cell phone service is. You could go to their website and get a coverage map, and this will allow them to show a really detailed one of Hilton Head Island. Mm-hmm. But there's no charge for that, correct?
Right.
But they do charge the carriers.
They do indeed.
So that's how they make their money in order to be able to do this.
They're also trying to make themselves the customer satisfaction site nationally for how good cell phone service is. And J.D. Power of customer satisfaction is now on their board of directors. So we think and we're the first municipality they've worked with. So we're real excited about it, and they are too, frankly.
Yeah, I think it sounds exciting. I know that you have a Facebook page, I believe, for the task force, correct?
And a Facebook page and a website.
Right, that's correct. And I know that I believe in one of those locations there was a review of the company by CNET that's actually performing this for you all, correct?
Actually, about a week ago there was an article in the Wall Street Journal that quoted all about RootMetrics and their coverage, actually in that case San Francisco. But
how'd you ever find them, Jim?
You know, we started calling, we looked around. I mean, one of the great things about this task force, we have a lot of highly technically qualified and knowledgeable people. And we were at a meeting and we started looking for these things, and we called about 3 different companies. One of the first companies we called, the guy answered the phone and he said, "What's your position?" The guy said, "Founder." We thought that was really neat. Then we figured out if the founder's answering the phone, it's probably not a huge company. But in that same meeting, we found RootMetrics, and we called them on the phone, and it's been just a wonderful relationship since that call.
Can you assure people there's no issue of confidentiality or anything to be worried about if they decide to go ahead and do this?
Absolutely, yeah. There's no, they'll never know your name. They won't know anything. They're just recording that ability to get service.
And what would you like to say to encourage people who may be a little bit lazy at times and think, well, maybe I'll get around to doing it? What would be your reason or your words of encouragement to get people to either put the app on their phone or go to the website and figure it out?
Well, being on the task force is like putting a target on your back. People love to tell you how their cell phone service is, but that doesn't really do much good. This really helps, because if we have a really good map of what Hilton Head is, we can go back, we can use it to communicate to town council on why this is important. We can go back to the carriers and say, here are the problem areas we've got. I think it's going to be, and I think we'll be like I said, we'll be the first municipality that actually has this data. So I think it's going to be very helpful in terms of fixing the problem.
Well, it sounds exciting, and hopefully you'll come back and let us know the results of that. What else have you been working on with the task force?
We invited Verizon Wireless. It was the first one. We hope to do this with all the wireless carriers, but we had some connections there that worked out. And they sent down 6 regional executives from Charlotte to meet with us a week ago Friday. And it was a great meeting. And we posed it not as just a complaining meeting. It was a meeting on how we could work together. And one of the ways we can work together is, as you know probably, Hilton Head is sometimes a hard place to get things done. And we are trying to rewrite the land management ordinance. And so Tom Cruise is working on that, and the mayor was there. How can we get out of the way? We have a case where one time it took 2 years to approve a cell phone tower. We want to make it easy for the carriers to spend money here. So we want to find out how we can make their process a lot simpler.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Up next, we'll be speaking with Jeff Rabel with Hilton Head Monthly with a look at August issues. Stay right there.